The restaurant door opened, and every plan I had carefully built for that evening collapsed before I even reached the table. I had expected one smiling face from a dating app profile. Instead, two women stood waiting for me, both staring with the same familiar green eyes, both wearing nervous expressions that suggested this wasn't a coincidence. In that single heartbeat, my first date became something I never could have imagined, and I realized that sometimes life doesn't surprise you with romance first, it surprises you with truth. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can heal broken hearts, if you still believe in hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, leave a thoughtful comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support allows more inspiring stories to reach people who may need them today. A month before that evening, life in Portland, Oregon had become painfully predictable for me. My name is Caleb, I was 34, worked as a landscape architect, and spent more weekends planting gardens for strangers than building a life for myself. After losing both of my parents within 3 years, I had quietly withdrawn from the world. Friends insisted I try online dating, and after weeks of hesitation, I finally matched with a woman named Rachel. Her profile was refreshingly simple. She loved bookstores, volunteered at community gardens, and admitted she wasn't very good at taking pictures of herself. That honesty was what caught my attention more than anything else. Our conversations lasted nearly 3 weeks. We never rushed. Instead of pretending to be perfect, we shared small disappointments, childhood memories, embarrassing stories, and hopes we were almost afraid to admit. When she suggested meeting at a quiet family-owned Italian restaurant, I found myself feeling something I hadn't experienced in years, genuine excitement mixed with nervous anticipation. Walking into the restaurant, however, I noticed Rachel wasn't alone. Beside her stood another woman who looked almost identical except for shorter hair and a brighter smile. Before confusion could overwhelm me, Rachel explained that the woman beside her was her younger sister, Grace. My heart sank for a brief moment, assuming I had misunderstood the entire evening. Instead, Rachel gently admitted something unexpected. Grace had secretly created Rachel's dating profile after watching her isolate herself following years of caring for their seriously ill mother until her passing. Rachel had nearly cancelled every conversation with me, convinced no one would truly want someone whose life had revolved around hospitals and responsibilities for so long. Grace had refused to let fear make another decision for her sister. Rachel confessed that she asked Grace to come because she couldn't bear the thought of meeting someone alone for the first time. She feared disappointment almost as much as rejection. Rather than feeling deceived, I saw something heartbreakingly human standing before me. Two sisters had survived years of sacrifice together, and neither knew how to step into a hopeful future without the other nearby. Grace politely excused herself after introducing us, leaving us alone with warm bread, untouched menus, and an awkward silence that somehow became comforting instead of uncomfortable. The conversation that followed wasn't about perfect careers or impressive vacations. Rachel spoke about sleeping in hospital chairs, missing birthdays, forgetting what dreams looked like because survival always came first. I shared my own grief over losing my parents and how loneliness slowly disguises itself as independence. Neither of us tried to rescue the other. We simply listened. As autumn slowly turned into winter, our connection grew naturally. We volunteered together at neighborhood parks, helped elderly neighbors restore neglected gardens, and spent quiet evenings cooking meals that usually ended with laughter over recipes gone wrong. Grace remained part of our growing friendship, often teasing us for taking so long to admit what everyone else already noticed. Instead of feeling like an unexpected guest in our relationship, she became the reminder that love often begins because someone brave enough believes happiness is still possible for another person. Several months later, Rachel took me to a small community garden where volunteers had dedicated a memorial bench to her mother. Flowers surrounded the wooden seat, blooming in colors that seemed almost impossible after a long winter. Sitting there together, she admitted she no longer visited that place to cry. She came to remember, to smile, and to continue living in a way that would have made her mother proud. Looking around, I realized that my shocking first date had never really been about two sisters waiting for me. It had been about two lives waiting for permission to begin again. Before we reach the end of this story, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment telling us about a moment when someone gave you a second chance, or when you gave one to someone else. Your story might become the encouragement another viewer needs today. A year after that unforgettable evening, Grace stood beside Rachel at another family gathering, laughing as she reminded everyone that she had nearly scared me away on our first date. This time, though, we were celebrating our engagement, surrounded by neighbors, friends, and a community that had quietly become family. Looking back, I understood that the greatest relationships aren't built on flawless beginnings. They're built on honesty, patience, courage, and people willing to stand beside one another through fear until hope becomes stronger than doubt. If this story touched your heart, inspired you, or reminded you that unexpected moments can become life's greatest blessings, please consider liking the video, sharing it with someone who needs hope today, subscribing for more uplifting stories, and joining the conversation below. Sometimes one act of compassion, one unexpected meeting, or one second chance is all it takes to change an entire life forever.